I've had many years collaboration, working experiences with Joanne Ramsden, and it's always been a pleasure. Both Carol and Joe are based in Spain. Carol is in Madrid and Joe is in Murcia and I'm in Barcelona. So obviously we've had a lot of contact and it's always been such a pleasure. Here's Joe. Welcome, Joe. Lovely to see you again. Oh, I love your... Are those ear warmers?
Those are ear warmers. It's rather chilly today down in Murcia.
You're cold as well. Oh my God, yeah. I'm getting cold as well because it's really dark here. And of course, when the sun goes, that's it. You know, the temperatures go down a lot here. Even though we're on the Mediterranean, nevertheless, it's cold in the evening. So we've got Jo here with us. It's such a pleasure. She's a very experienced teacher in the state school system here in Spain. She's also worked as a teacher trainer for many years and a lot of sessions, both face-to-face and online, for Macmillan, not just in Spain, but all over the world. And she is the co-author of the primary series Give Me 5, and she promises all of us to go out with a bang for this year. So Jo, please
thanks very much.
surprise us with your great ideas. Thank you.
Okay,
I'm going to switch off now.
All right, thanks very much, Louise. It's lovely to see you. Well, this term has been particularly challenging for pupils and teachers alike. We've had to adapt to a different way of learning, remote learning, socially distanced, and wearing masks. I myself am back in the classroom, but our children are socially distanced. 5 different children stay at home every day. So it's quite different. It's time now for some fun. So today I would like to have a look at my top 10 activities to round off 2020 and to go out with a bang. Straight in at number 10 then. We've got some old favourites to start off with that are guaranteed to raise a cheer with your class. There are probably a few more that we could add to the list, but these are the ones that I've chosen to have a look at today. We've got Bingo with a Twist, categories, Taboo, Charades and Pictionary. Let's start off with Bingo with a Twist. Bingo is great fun to play in class or remotely. We can play traditional bingo with numbers, or we can play with vocabulary from one of our units, or winter fun bingo to get into the seasonal spirits, like this one here that's free from Teachers Pay Teachers. You don't need to make individual bingo cards for the children. Just display a slide with a selection of numbers or words from the chosen topic for the children to choose from. Ask them to choose around about 6 words and give them time to note them down. Call out words at random and the children cross them off when they've chosen them. The twist is that the winner is the last one to cross off the word. So we don't have children winning and the game is over straight away. For older pupils, you can give definitions instead of naming the items. Let's try a couple of examples just to start us off. It's made of wool and you wear it on your head. Any ideas? Just type through into the chat box. It's the hat, that's right. And one more, they keep your hands nice and warm in winter. The gloves, and it's the mittens from our calling cards. Super. Another old favourite is the categories game. Again, this is something that you can play online or face-to-face. You can play individually or in teams. Choose the categories that you want to review and then pick a letter. Children name something in each category beginning with that letter. You can use our 60-second timer, or you can just stop once someone has completed all the categories. So let's have a go. The letter is M, and I'm just going to give you 20 seconds to type through the chat box, something beginning with M for each category. Let's see how you get on. M, can you think of a colour or a clothing item? Maroon, we've got maroon, and we've also got mauve. We've got our mittens from the earlier game. Oh, moose, I love it. In fact, I think I'm a bit of a moose today with my earmuffs on. We've got meat for food. We've got mushrooms as well. Mumbling, I love that for the action. We've got my cat, I love it. My cat, oh, you could have anything. My elephant, oh, my dog. Body, mouth, mango. Yes, mangoes. There are all kinds of things that we can have. So yeah, we can definitely play this one online, and we can play it also face to face. With younger children, you could just focus on one category at a time, or perhaps words that contain the letter, but not necessarily at the beginning. With older pupils, we can have them working in groups. You can allocate points, 10 points for a word that no one else has, something really original, and 5 points if another team has it. If we're working online, we can send them off into a breakout room to discuss within their team, and after the 60 seconds is up, come back into the main group. Another classic game is Taboo. This is basically a definitions game. Pupils are given the word to define, but in addition to that word that they're describing that they can't say, there are other words that they are not allowed to say as well, just to make it a bit more fun. So we've got here, let's have a go. The first one we've got is penguin. So you've got to describe a penguin, but you can't say penguin, but you also can't say bird, and you can't say legs. So let's have a go. Any ideas? How can we describe that penguin? Yes, we can talk about the colour. It's black and white. It's a black and white animal. It looks like it's wearing a suit. Fantastic. An emperor. Yes, we can say, well, it's got wings. It lives on the ice. It can't fly. In Antarctica, it lays eggs. Brilliant. There are lots of really good ideas coming through here. We can do the same with the tree. We can't say tree. We can't say it's a plant. We can't say that it's green. We could maybe say it's in a forest. Yep, we can decorate it. Ooh, it makes oxygen. Fantastic. So if you're working on science, you can have a bit more of a science-related content there. So you can play with any of the topics that you've covered during term time, choose around 10 words, make some cards, and off you go. For younger children, it's a good idea to provide some sentence stems for them, to give them a bit of scaffolding to help them. If you're playing remotely, I would send through a couple of sheets, 2 different sheets, before the class starts, and have children play in teams into the breakout rooms. You could send them through Google Classroom, so the children can either print them out at home or view them on their iPads. Send them into the breakout rooms and have them take turns describing and guessing. Charades is another favourite, where children act out a phrase, this time without speaking. The other members of the team try to guess what the phrase is as quickly as possible. In Give Me 5 Level 2, the Frozen Lake unit has some vocabulary ideal for our winter theme and perfect for acting out. We've got skate on a frozen lake, drink hot chocolate, make a snowman, etc. Again, you can play with any topic that you've covered, from verbs to helping around the house to daily routine, etc. Last but not least, in the old favourites category, there's Pictionary. This time, instead of acting out or defining, you draw. So if we're in class, children can play in socially distanced small groups using a mini whiteboard, like this one that I've borrowed from school. One child draws and their team guesses. If you're working remotely, you can do the drawing yourself and you can have the children guess. I'm particularly bad at drawing, but let's have a go anyway. So see if you can guess. It's from our winter theme. Any ideas? It's an igloo. Okay, so I'm not that bad at drawing after all. If you're playing remotely and the children have got mini whiteboards, then that's ideal. Everyone can take a turn. If not, they can perhaps draw on a piece of paper and hold it up. You can give children word cards with pictures and clues to help them draw. There are lots of free sets to download at prekinders.com, which is where I found this one. Or you can use the word cards that come with your book. In 9th position in my top 10, we've got some outdoor activities that you can do if you're teaching face-to-face. First up is Frosty Says, a wintry take on Simon Says. This activity targets verbs and action words. Frosty says jump. Frosty says run on the spot. If you don't say Frosty says, children stand still like statues. Keep up the wintry theme by having Frosty ask the class to make a snowman, jump in the snow, put on a scarf, etc. If you are face-to-face and you have outside space that you can use, your class will be really glad of a chance to move around more freely. If you're teaching remotely, you can still play, but give your children a few moments to clear a space around their chair before you start. And then for Pin the Carrot on the Snowman, this is a game that we can really only play face-to-face. You will need to cut out a large snowman from white card, cut a carrot out from orange card and attach rolled up tape on the back. And then to play, divide your class into teams. Explain that one member from each team will be blindfolded or cover up their eyes. And then the other members of the team will give directions to the left, to the right, up, down, keep going, stop, to help their teammate correctly stick the nose on the snowman. At number 8, we've got some activities that are ideal for playing remotely. One of my favourite remote learning activities is the scavenger hunt. It's probably your favourite as well. But now at the end of term, we can really pull out all the stops. In advance of the class, send the children a document that they can either print out or they can have a look at on a tablet. You can do this. This can be synchronous with the children running away to find the items and coming back every time they've found them. The winner is the first one to find everything. You get to have a little bit of a rest, saying great every time anyone turns up, but it's great fun. The winner's the first one to find everything. Or it could be asynchronous digital task with slightly older children where they go away, photograph each item and make a collage at the end. You could even set an outdoor task to be completed with a parent over the holidays. The end of term is an ideal time to work on thinking skills. So in at number 7, we've got the brain drain. Instead of working on topics that you've covered throughout the term, try something new by asking pupils to compare term time activities with holidays using a Venn diagram. So let's have a go now. What things can you think of that we can compare from term time to holidays? Again, if we're working remotely here, we can use the breakout rooms to enable discussion. Send the children off, or if we're working face to face, they can work in pairs. In the term time section, we will put activities or things that we would do only in term time. Yes, like waking up early. And in holiday time, we can put waking up later. In the middle, we will put things that we will do both in term time and in the holidays. Maybe different clothes. That's a good idea. If children are at school having to wear a uniform, maybe they wear a uniform. In the holidays, they might be able to wear a tracksuit. They might have a test in the term time. In holidays, they definitely won't have any tests. Here are some ideas that I thought of. We've got go to school, stay at home, maybe a different place to play, play in the playground against playing in the park. Spending time with the teacher versus spending time with the family. Another thought-provoking activity is a task card quiz. Again, this is something that you can play face-to-face or online. It requires a bit of preparation, but it's definitely worth it. You'll need to make a set of task cards, around 8 to 10 cards per set. If you're working face-to-face, you can laminate them for class use, or children can visualize them on tablets if you're in a digital school, or you can project them on a whiteboard. The task cards can be designed to review any topics covered during the term, or focus on a more holiday or cultural theme, and you can include different question types, such as multiple choice, true or false, spot the lie. Give out or send through Google Classroom the answer sheet. Pupils will then work in pairs to complete all of the tasks, racing against the clock or against each other. These task cards are ones that I've designed for lower primary. There are a couple of multiple choice questions. So you can see we've got that I'm going with the wintry theme. What's a snowman's nose made of? And they can choose from the different options. A potato, a carrot, or a tomato. What animal is this? We've also got a word scramble. So choose some words that you want them to review. I've got some clothes words here. We've also got true or false with different images, or spot the lie, where 2 of the sentences are true and 1 is false. You can also include maybe riddles, some definitions, or even tasks that you want the children to go off and perform. Say the alphabet with your partner, find something blue, etc. We can't send children off on holiday without a couple of exciting wintry art activities. So, new in at number 6, we have Art Attack. Art is relaxing and it's fun for all the class, while at the same time children are practicing following instructions and working together. And the best part is that there's an end product to take home. These are my 3 winter favourites. So the first one is the classic snowflake. You need to take a square piece of paper. It's easy to make a square out of paper. Just take a sheet of A4, fold. Wait a minute, this is pre-folded and it's not like that. Fold into a triangle and cut off along the bottom. So we've got our square of paper. Fold it into a triangle like this. Fold it again to make another triangle. So in half and in half again. And now take one side and fold that here. And now take the other side and fold that to the back. Okay, so we folded one side to the front, one side to the back. And now with the scissors, just cut along the bottom to make a circular shape so we can start to cut our snowflake. Now, with your scissors, you just snip away at the sides, at the bottom and at the top, making sure that you don't snip everything, otherwise your snowflake will fall apart. So we cut a little bit at the top, little bits at the side, little bit at the bottom, and then unfold to reveal your masterpiece. Ta-da! So you can use these snowflakes to decorate the class, stick them up on the windows, and then at the end of term, children can take them home. It's an activity that's perhaps more suitable for ages 7 and up, because they do have to cut through 4 to 6 layers of paper, which can be a bit tricky, but it's great fun. The next one is the paper lantern. So with this one, you need a sheet of coloured paper. If we use coloured paper, then they don't really need to decorate it, or you can have them put some stickers on later. Cut off a strip before you start. This is for the handle, okay? Fold your paper in half. This is the folded part, and then draw a line along the open part, which shows you where to cut. And then we take our scissors and we cut up to the line. Okay, so we cut all the way along up to the line, and when we finished, we open it, fold the other way, and stick the sides together with glue, and then we have our fabulous lantern, which the children can maybe decorate, put some stickers on. You can hang them around the class, and again, they can take them home at the end of the term. The last one could have perhaps come into old favourites. It's the fortune teller. You've probably played this before, but I just wanted to remind you because I love it. Again, you need another square piece of paper. You need to fold each corner into the centre. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 into the centre. Turn it around and fold each corner into the centre again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then fold it in half and put your fingers inside. Okay, so we've got our fortune teller. You could perhaps make the fortune teller in one session, and then in the following session, then you can add the language and decorate it. So then on the outside part, you need colours. You can either write the colours or just put a colour splodge. Inside, we need to put the numbers all the way around, and then under each flap, we can have different instructions or directions. Okay, so let's have a go. We choose red, and the children spell it out, R-E-D. And then we have a look inside and we choose a number. Let's have number 1. Open it up and it says, clap the days of the week. So then the children would have to clap out the days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, etc. Inside, we can have either instructions or directions or questions, depending on the language that you want to practice. If we're playing online, children can go off and play in a breakout room. Face to face, we can go outside and have a bit of a mingle. These are some of the ideas of things that we could add to that fortune teller. And number 5, if you've been working on questions throughout the term, a fun activity is for children to choose a character that they want to interview and write questions to ask them. Now, this could be a fictional character from a book or a film, or a seasonal character such as Jack Frost or Frosty the Snowman. Questions will depend on the grammar that you've been working on with the children throughout the term. Again, provide some sentence stems for them to write their list of questions, and perhaps over 2 sessions, take the questions in, perhaps correct them, work on the questions, and then in a following session, the children will take turns to pretend to be those characters, act out the interview, asking and answering the questions. At number 4, it's showtime. Unfortunately, this year in many cases, it isn't going to be possible to have an end of term show. But one option could be having a virtual performance. Record the class singing one of their favourite songs from the term, or sending a personal message to their parents. They could present a project that they've done, or act out one of their favourite stories, something that they've enjoyed. It may take a little bit of extra time for you to edit it all together, but the children will really enjoy making something special that their parents will be able to see. As well as reflecting on what we've learned during the term, it can be a good time to look forward to the coming year and think about anything that we can do better. So at number 3, we've got New Year's resolutions. In Give Me 5, level 5 festival sessions, there's a New Year's resolution poem which pupils can read and act out. It's New Year's Day today, and it's time for me to think about my resolutions and write them down in ink. I promise I will watch less TV every day. I promise I won't shout at my sister when we play. I promise I will clean and tidy up my room. I promise I won't dawdle when it's time to go to school. These plans look too severe, but I've got a good solution. I promise I won't keep my New Year's resolution. In their activity books, children will then reflect on their own behaviour throughout the year and make their own resolutions. It's also excellent practice of the use of the future tense. So, over to you. What New Year's resolutions would you like to see from your class? Just to start the ball rolling, with my class, we're actually face-to-face. Everybody's got their own materials. I would like to see less tapping on the table when we are teaching. So keep those pencils in the pencil case. I promise I will turn my camera on. Yes. I promise I will maybe participate. I promise I will practice my vocabulary. Yes. So plenty of things that we can ask our children to try to keep for those new. I promise I won't play games during the lesson. Oh yes, I would like that one as well. The term isn't yet over, but children will be very excited about upcoming holidays. Why not make a calendar for them to use over the holidays to count down the days to the new term? So this activity links in very well with the New Year's resolutions. So we could do the New Year's resolution activity and then as a follow on, make the calendar so that they're doing some great things over the holidays and counting down to the new year coming back. So what type of things would you like to see your children doing over the holidays? Okay, so they're on a bit of a break and, oh yes, I promise I will help people. We can add that into our holiday planner. So on Wednesday, the 27th, I'm not sure if that's the actual date, but I promise I will help someone. I will play with my parents. And we can agree on the items that go into the planner all together. And then we can encourage our class to record the events, maybe with photos or a journal. So it could be, yeah, I promise to read more. I would like to read every day. So some ideas that we can include in the holiday calendar, maybe revise my vocabulary, good one, practice my English, and as well some kind of relaxing activities. Have fun with my friends. Take advantage of that time. Spend time with my family. I love these ideas. Maybe bake a cake, something different, or help out with the dinner. Make a pizza and put some interesting topic. Do some exercise. Great. Spend more time with the family. I've also put on here maybe turn off technology. I was going to put for a whole day, but I think we could perhaps turn off the technology, perhaps just for a morning or an afternoon, and spend some time maybe just going out. We do have to stay with our families, but let's do something fun. Sing all the songs that we've learned in the class. That's great. Make beetroot soup. Excellent. So yes, spend less time with the gadgets. So we can just advise them towards things that we think would be nice and fun. We can perhaps, some suggestions earlier on were maybe watching a video, but perhaps in English, or singing some of your English songs. Okay, so finally, straight in at number 1, it's the top 5 countdown. This is another great activity to promote thinking skills and discussion. In Give Me 5 level 1, there's a 21st century thinking skills section with different videos. Now, we don't really have time to look at that video now, but the video counts down from 5 to 1, showing all of the children's top 5 toys. They're all ranked in order. And then you can see here children are encouraged to rank the different toys from 3 down to their favorite. So we would, after watching the video, ask the children to agree with the order and think about their own favorite. So we could, this is something that we can harness, that this top 5 idea, and we could maybe think of some different categories. We can ask them to rank their top 5 toys, but what other things could we ask them to rank from 5 down to 1? Maybe their favorite food. Great idea. So they could favorite colors. So each child will be given some thinking time to rank their top 5, and then if we're working remotely, we would send them into the breakout room to discuss that, or if we're face to face, they could chat about it. So different things that children might enjoy doing, and it's a great opportunity to have a discussion, argue it out, and see if they agree on their top 5 activities. Well, that's all that we've got time for in my top 10 activities to go out with a bang. I hope that there were some activities there that you will find useful, and thanks very much for joining us today. And I think we may have a few minutes now for some questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Joe. That's been fantastic. I think there's more than just some ideas here. And if we look at the chat box, people have been saying, thank you. I'm going to use these ideas. And also, which I think is really lovely, is that people have been sharing ideas that they use in class. One person referred to a project, an online project. She had her pupils investigate or research crazy buildings, and then they had to do presentations online. So it was really nice. So you've obviously sparked a lot of memories and sparked a lot of ideas, and I'm sure that people will use the next week or so to put those into practice. And I also loved your idea of the countdown calendar as well. So it's not just rounding off the year, it's also kind of thinking, okay, how can I make the best use of my holiday, and not just for language learning, but for being, a human being. So it's lovely, really, really nice.
Yeah, thanks so much, Joe. That was absolutely brilliant. As always, just absolutely brilliant. Thanks so much.
Yes.
So we've had a couple of questions.
Yes. We had a question about the flashcards, I think, or the picture cards that people were asking where they can get hold of them and how to use them. A bit more advice and some more tips on that. So, what do you think?
Okay,
Jo?
well, the ones for the task card quiz, I actually made them myself. They're quite simple to make. Just a little text box. And then some of the images. Others, I found them online. Teachers Pay Teachers has got lots of materials. Obviously, it's a pay site, but the one that I had was actually free. So there are lots of free samples. If you're using Give Me 5 as a course book, you'll find in the Navio app, there's a section where you can see all of the flashcards, and this is ideal to use for any of the games. So you can just see all the flashcards there. You can look at the pictures, you've got the words as well, and you can use this for bingo, for playing I Spy, and any of those games. If you want to use the task cards for the quiz, you'll find those on the slide, which you will be sent later on. So feel free to use those in the classroom and to use them as inspiration to make your own.
There's another question. That's great. That's great. There's another question about, could you sort of indicate more or less a time frame for these activities? Is there kind of an average time frames, 5 minutes, less, more? It depends, obviously, but
it depends. I would probably, I mean, if we were going to play Frosty Says, an action game, I would play that for about 5 minutes. Bingo, I think you can play bingo for a bit longer. You can probably definitely play bingo for about 10 to 15 minutes. But the art activities, particularly the fortune teller, I think, no, that's not the one. This one. If you were making the fortune teller, I would use 2 sessions for that activity. I would make the fortune teller in 1 session and do some other things. It's probably going to take about, by the time the children have written, we've got to make it, they've got to follow the instructions, decorate it, write the numbers, and think of the instructions. I would say making the fortune teller, you can do that for a whole session. And then in the following session, play with them, but just for about 5 minutes. But I think that the children will love playing with them. You could use that as a warmer for a few sessions, and the children would enjoy playing with a different partner. But just if it's an action game, around about 5 minutes, definitely.
That's great. Thank you. I think that's it.
No, we have got actually. We've had a few. They are coming in. Actually,
okay.
We have had a few more. So, someone's asked. Sama has asked, what sort of ages would you stop playing these sort of games with?
Stop? Oh,
well, what sort of? So, everything sort of up to 30 years old, do you think? A good time to stop? Or,
no, I just keep on going. I mean, you know, I'm almost 54, and I love playing games. And I don't know how old the participants are here in this group, and I don't really want to ask, but I've seen everybody joining in with these games. So I think that there's always a time for fun, and I think that nobody's really too old. You just need to choose. I mean, I probably wouldn't want to play Frosty Says or pin the carrot on the snowman. That's more appropriate for younger children. But certainly the interview, you could do that with any age group at all. Even with adults, they would choose the character that they want to interview and interview them. So I think really there's no upper age limit with games.
Right. I completely agree. I play board games all the time, Joe. I'm a massive fan of board games. Still play, and I'm 36, I think. I've forgotten how old I am. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Joe.
My grandma loved bingo, so you know, I think
really?
bingo as well. It's just timeless, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, look, everyone's telling
Yes.
us how old they are now. No, I didn't need you to tell me.
Oh,
It's lovely.
Let's see.
We've seen so
Oh, I
many
want to
different
see.
faces and now so many different ages. Who's going to be?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. What
64?
ages
Is
do
there
we
anyone
have?
older than 64?
No, absolutely.
We had someone who was 21, I think, earlier. 42, 51,
The
40,
youngest.
54, 23.
53, 55. I mean, there's a whole
I've seen
range
64.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, this is the best
That's
one.
actually a really
Okay.
interesting question. We haven't asked that. I don't remember asking that before. It's a really interesting question.
Well, I suppose we didn't
All
ask
ages.
it.
12. So wait, it's 12
All
years old.
ages.
Yes,
Fabulous.
and as them says, involve them. They learn better. So the important thing is to be involved. I mean, even as you both said, in our own lives, you know, playing board games, or you might be a little bit kind of, oh, here we go again, or charades. And I have said that when I played, you know, before playing, oh God, here we go again. But in actual fact, once you get into it, it's kind of contagious, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
It is.
the group-
Absolutely.
And as well,
totally
you
agree.
can judge, can't you? I mean, if you say, let's play charades today, and everyone goes, oh, well, you know, don't play it. Have
Exactly.
I like to go into a class with like a buffet of different ideas. I can never say exactly what I'm going to do because I've got my buffet. And if I say, right, we're going to play bingo, everyone's going to go, yay. If I say, today we're going to make a snowflake, they will say, yay. But if you sort of say, if you see them saying, yeah, I've not got my scissors, or I've got no, then have a plan B. So
Exactly.
sort of gauge
That's a good-
and cut the game short so that it leaves them wanting more rather than playing until you feel that they've got fed up with it.
That's
That
very
would be
good
my
advice,
advice.
actually.
Brilliant advice.
That's very good advice. Thank you.
Well, everyone's still going with their
Right.
ages. Well, Joe, thank you so much. Thanks again. I mean, it's the second time you've done it today, so really, just great to have you here. Really, just great job. Really, really useful presentation.
Really
Loads of
enjoyed
different
it.
ideas.
Thank
And
you so
really
much.
Hopefully
Wonderful.
people to end the year on a high.
Yes.
So thanks so much
Go
for coming,
out with
Joe.
a bang.